Before you abort that child that is inside your body, ask yourself these three questions. By the way, there is someone that said it is better to date a single mother than date a lady who is childless but has aborted several times. Both of you have children, just that one of you has actually killed a couple of children in the body. Because what happens is life begins at conception. The Bible says, I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb, which means when you are conceived, you became a human and you had a life. And what usually happens is when people die, they either go to heaven or they go to hell. Remember the story of the rich man and Lazarus. One of them went to heaven, another one went to hell. And now what happens is when you kill this child goes straight to the heavens. And maybe some of you one day or during the day of judgment, you'll walk into heaven and you will find many children who are singing a poem to you, children that were meant to be yours, but you decided to terminate their destinies before they even landed into this planet. So now, before you even decide to abort that child, there are three questions you should ask yourself. First question, what will happen to you if you do an abortion? A couple of things. Number one, you can hurt yourself. You can actually die in the process. You can destroy your reproductive system. And in the process, you can actually find yourself in complications when you're giving birth in future. Now, one of the things to note is that that person you're killing inside, it's called murder. And the Bible says in Psalms 139 verse 13, for you created my innermost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet to the nation. You are killing a prophet. You are murdering someone that would have become maybe a future president. You don't know who you are killing. Maybe a future governor. Maybe a future destiny helper. How many people wanted to kill people, then they ended up ignoring the abortion, and later on those children became a blessing in their lives. Maybe you're destroying the person that God has ordained to be a blessing in your own life. Number two, an abortion can actually affect your current relationship. That person you're so scared of giving a baby, and you're scared that the two of you might not get along. In fact, you'll not get along. After an abortion, relationships are never the same. You ask many people that have gone through that. The men, for some reason, they feel like something has died inside them. In fact, those relationships end up dying. That's why you have an opportunity to choose between life and death. Deuteronomy 30 verse 19, it says, I call heaven and earth as witnesses today against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both you and your descendants may live. Choose life. Choose for the sake of your descendants, for the sake of your lineage, for the sake of your bloodline. You don't know what you're destroying. Maybe you're destroying something that would have benefited generations and generations. The sex might have been a problem, but the child is never a problem. The child is never a mistake. Number three, what happens to you? What happens to your soul? One, it leaves you with a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of embarrassment. In fact, the Bible says in Acts 17 verse 30 that God overlooks it as long as you don't know any better. But that time is past. The unknown is now known, and He's calling for a radical life change. Now that you know that abortion is not really good for you and even for the child, because now you're making a decision for two people. You can make a decision for yourself, but not for the other person. Now the Bible says you need to do a radical change of life. Now this is for anyone that is contemplating an abortion. It is better to raise up that child. It is better to be a single mom than being one who is childless and has aborted several times.